Hello everybody, I'll give it that minute to let people log on. We have to have a big talk here. I just got tagged in Manitoba Grand Chief and a number of members, chiefs of the treaty lands there, and I don't know all who was who. I knew there was a Treaty 5 there. Very hard to hear, and I got a good sound system where I can beef it up right in my vehicle and hear it extremely loud with the static. We got a good gist of everything and what was said. We got problems, and it's what the Treaty Indian chiefs think, how they're thinking of white man's law here. We look at boat people versus the canoe people. That's the best way to say it. It doesn't really matter, First Nations and Canadians. It doesn't matter when you go across Canada when it comes to crown lands or crown lands. They derive directly from the Treaty Indians, okay? There's a number of different types of Treaty Indian. When we get into the numbered treaties of the Indian Act Post, that's a separate system, as are the British treaties with like 6 nations. The list goes on and on. There's unceded, but regardless of all that, the actual crown lands are of the treaties. Here's the problem. The treaties haven't been good for a very long time. When I say they haven't been good, what I mean is they're not legal, not lawful, not on the world stage, not by the 5 allies. The whole system that Canada's inherited and perpetuated itself has been a lie since 1952. They don't have the courage or the capability, the accountability to come forward and address all First Nation chiefs and all Canadians and say, look, for the last 70 years, we've stolen everything from everybody. Absolutely First Nations, and absolutely what is coined the third class and second class Canadian. I know First Nations work in song. They don't use the written law, but of course they have to learn it. They're in the system. They've been forced, assimilated to learn it. And now as they go through, the problem is the written laws of the Canadian system are a farce, an absolute lie, all the way through our justice system. Search your hearts, search your souls. All third-class Canadians, when you think about it, you know something's wrong. First Nations, I shouldn't have to tell you, you know absolutely something has and always has been wrong. Dead wrong. They've genocided you, murdered and raped your children, bashed their heads in, and I don't mean to say this lightly, but you have to say it as it is. Raped, tortured, experimented, everything, every human atrocity thinkable for a lot longer than even Hitler was even in existence, long before Hitler. It's all from the same system. That system is abolished, meaning the treaties that your yellow chicken shit politicians who couldn't fess up to you, they stole it for themselves. It's called provincial federal crown land because the UK had to turn it over. That's reality. The treaties are here. We have to settle everything. But the government's able to lease it out to foreign powers, filling their back pockets, all elected politicians, keeping us divided. I heard the presentation in Manitoba, going with the criminal code, where I heard what you all said. Go to the UN, basically the General Assembly, go with UNDRIP. None of that is international law, you guys. It is all bullshit writing. Bullshit law by the bullshit politicians. What we white people call the first class, as they are defined in what's called customary law, unwritten laws. that are deemed for that political class. That's the white man's world. And it is absolutely from an old white man's world where no color of people was allowed. And if you were fortunate enough to make it into the class, there was third, second, and first. Third never gets nothing. They're the ones who go down with the ship. When you met the boat people, canoe people and boat people, you met a first-class citizen. The other boats that came were all barge ships where people were down below in decks. They're all peasants and serfs under an exact same Indian Act. They left an Indian Act to come here with the promise of free land. We all know it's not true. There was not really any free land. They changed that right away for their serf, peasant, third class. That's the customary law of Canada. It's absolutely unwritten. It's customary from Great Britain, and it's illegal in the world today. International law has forbidden that since 1945. If you haven't seen my Module 1, First Nations, if you know any of the chiefs in Manitoba, get Module 1. That's absolutely Indian Act. It screams it all. Never mind UNDRIP. Never mind the Canadian government. Never mind the justice system. It's all bullshit. We have to leave that. We have to go to the ICC, the allies of World War II, the new chiefs of the world. Not new, because most of the world knows this, but every Canadian from that third class, basically we're talking the serf peasant, those under the Indian Act of the white people, white man's Indian Act for white serfs. That's what it is. And they get us to go at each other all the time. You can't curb racism when it's the government that's doing the genocide, the first class citizen who holds the power over the First Nations and all third and what are called second class Canadians. Non-politicians, non-appointed
turn
government,
left onto York
they're all bad.
York Regional Road 30.
They're all bad. That's reality. And we got to get that through to them. There is only one success for the First Nations. Your key. You can have everything you want, but it has to be done through the 5 allies. And that's the work I'm doing. Now, people, it's beyond fraud now. I don't know why no one's sharing to the chiefs. I have Zhang Jun, number 2 in China. I published it from Twitter. He never likes anybody's stuff or acknowledges anybody. He acknowledged me twice. First, that he was going to present on the world stage, UNSC, highest platform in the world, the first time First Nations were ever mentioned. I promised it in 2019, live in Alberta to the Treaty Indians of 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Some of those overlapped Saskatchewan, but I did for the border of Alberta. I'm doing the entirety of Canada now. I'm doing a federal party. It's not fraud. It's not baloney. I've been at this work for a long time. Zhang Jun wouldn't be responding to me. He sits next to Xi Jinping. Before that, you can see my friend on Twitter is Kelly Knightcraft, who was second in command underneath Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, during his administration. They've all gotten all my letters. I've been at this work for a number of years. I'm ready to go. It's all going through. People, Canadians, First Nations, get a hold of the chiefs in Manitoba. Get a hold of the Grand Chief. Show them the module. That is international law. International law, Module 1, that tells Canada to amend its constitution, just like every country in the world. Many had imposed constitutions enforcing that. Germany, Spain, Japan, massive Asian countries, massive Middle East, all the way through Africa countries had to get this done, all the way up to the 70s, everybody. Even some, the last one done, 2005 in Africa, was still more to go. Canada, unlike 85 other nations of the world, never got touched. They lied to all of us. First Nations chiefs, absolutely the treaty chiefs, do not go with the first class Canadian politicians' laws. They're all flawed. 75% of them are flawed and illegal, and they're genocidal. That is the death penalty. Canada doesn't have the death penalty. The world powers do. They'll put these people to death. And First Nations, they don't care what color you are, what your creed is, what your demands are. If you participate in it against your people, they're going to go for you too. I'm trying to do the right thing here, and I don't know why the National Chief isn't sharing it. I don't. Perry should have. At least he should have finished his job. He met me. Like, no, all these chiefs like, we never heard of you, we never heard of that, we never saw it. I gave it out to a number of chiefs. I have lots of witnesses. I was there, and everyone acts like it's not real, and here we are, square one now on the world stage, and chiefs are talking like Manitoba's entirety with the Grand Chief, talking against the Allies, talking on behalf of Canada in a system that isn't going to be going forward. I can only do so much. I can only do so much, and it has to be shared. This is credible, verifiable, and real, and I don't know. I just can't stomach the corruption. I can't believe they're doing this to the Chiefs. It's humiliating for them, and it's wrong. And I guess I'm going to have to find a way to get the resources to get to Manitoba and go see the Grand Chief. I'm going to have to go see them all, because that's what it's going to take. It is a pile of corruption. It is absolutely disgusting from Liberals, Conservatives, and NDP. The Chiefs have to know, all governments, no matter which one you pick or which one you wear orange and you put it on and say, oh, NDP, guess what? They exterminated you too. I got it all entirely. And if you guys are sitting there, especially the treaty chiefs, if you're sitting there and you're backing these horses and, oh, we're going to ignore international... I know you don't know international law. Canadians don't know international law. But it is real. It is here and it's right now. And this ain't going away anymore. And I'm not stopping. And, you know, I know they need the education. So, First Nation followers and friends, follow me. And absolute Canadians, reach out to Treaty Indian Chiefs, especially Manitoba right now, because this is a disaster. Their narratives are wrong. They're going with the wrong laws of a white man system outlawed in the world, and they won't forgive or forget that. It'll be used against those chiefs. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. I didn't make these rules. This is how it is. We can't have them being cuckolds to their oppressors. It's sad, it's humiliating for them, and absolutely it's not going to lead to anything. And all these things we cry out for, change the criminal code, enforce this, do that, all you're doing is putting the pressure on the third class and creating more division. The third class should not be your enemy. Indians and Canadians should be together against the politicians who made all these laws, crafted this system, because it's been outlawed 70 years. There's no more majesty. They are the majesty. They hold the treaties. They take Crown land and do with it as they will and fill their back pockets at everybody's expense. And they drive a wedge between the First Nations and the regular Canadians to increase racism, make it worse. I know the system with the reserves. I know how people travel around in the reserves. I understand people could just drive off the highway, grab a woman walking home, or grab even a child. I've driven it. I've seen it. I know. And I would be terrified. You know, I get it. I see the fear too. I get it. But we got to do something now, today, that's going to have something real and lasting done to change the system that's broken for everybody. First Nations the most. Third class, second class. That's the truth. It is only one group of peoples, and they're no longer just white anymore. That system's from the white man, and an autocracy from a white man system before, but now they all come here and exploit it. And even some of the chiefs are exploiting it. I don't know. We're going to find out. But if you embrace the crown and you participate in any genocidal or fake narratives to lead people to fall on their face, First Nations, Canadians alike. I'm going to put you forward on that. I'm going to. So, everybody help. You want to help? People say they want to help. Get me in touch with the Grand Chief of Manitoba and the Treaty Chiefs of Manitoba. That's what I need right now, this week, because I have to send an email to Karim Khan. I have to do a follow-up, and it's not looking good, not for First Nations. And I made a promise, but like I said, I can only do so much, and then it's out of my hands too. I'm just a human being, a low third-class citizen, but I have to tell them what's going on. Thank you. That's my video, everybody. Share, share, share. Try to reach as many First Nations. Treaty of Manitoba Treaty, all Canada. There's lots of them. You guys got to know this stuff. Crown land is all treaty land. That's the reality. Here's another thing for y'all, and soon we're going to have our First Nations Treaty Indian speaking on all this stuff. We're going to be making a professional video like the one I rolled out yesterday, so at least it's not me, so that way you can see what our party's put forward with an actual treaty Indian who's going to give you what I give you, and then you don't feel like a white guy's dictating to you. We're going to let an articulate First Nations treaty Indian take this over for me, because I'm going to keep doing the ICC, but you know, there's only so much I can do, and I get it. I'm seeing it in comments from white or red. You know, it doesn't seem to matter, right? People take everything the wrong way, and I get it. I'm white. Why should I be talking about it? But I did the work. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. This is real, verifiable, incredible, and it's coming up very quickly, and I have works to do this week that have to be done, and I can't have treaty Indian chiefs going with the Canadian narrative that's total genocidal and trying to go with paths in the Canadian system that are never ever going to see any real justice or ever see any of those laws enacted. Have you not read the Indian Act? Read 115 A to D. They removed C and D just only 7 years ago. That's it. But they still operate full well Section 115 A and B. You trust NDP, Liberal, Green, Bloc, Conservative? I wouldn't trust any of those, because they've all had a hand in that. And when you read A and B, guess what? That's listed in the death penalty of genocide. That's Adolf Hitler stuff. And guess what, Treaty Indians? That's been on you longer and way before Hitler was even in the picture, before he even wrote Mein Kampf. Where did he get the ideas? Where did he get the Enabling Act from? I can tell you right now, he got it from the Indian Act. There's no other finer example. Sorry to say this, and I'm not trying to hurt feelings or, you know, like I said, I'm going to have a treaty Indian take this over for me, because I know it's not sitting well with a lot of people, and I have to do, I guess, the boat people. We're going to have a treaty Indian do the canoe people. That's how it has to be. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do a professional video this week. Second one. You guys have all seen the World Constitution Day. Now you're going to get to hear from the treaty Indian. Well-articulated professional video and what's coming. We're getting this whole thing done. And by the time we hit 2023, the parties are going to be in big trouble. You guys haven't seen nothing yet. There's nothing any of the politicians can do. Chiefs, I hope it finds you. Somebody does the right thing, because I'm just a man. I do the best I can, but you know, I need some First Nations to step up here and actually put their name out there and get the job done, because I need the invite and I can't do it on my own. So thanks, everybody. Share. It's important. I have to finish that email this week. Well, what am I supposed to tell Karim Khan? What am I supposed to tell him? That the Chiefs are corrupted too? Because they're going to be reading all that. They've been through this all over Africa, everything. They don't care. They don't care if you're black, red, yellow, white, doesn't matter. You participate in this stuff, you're going down. That's their job. That's all they do. Thanks. That's my video.